I think we've got it. Twitch always takes just a minute, and then YouTube is not long after. It's all realm of the possible. But yes, I see us alive. Oddly enough, I see us alive on YouTube. Twitch.
It's alive.
Ah, there we are. Now Twitch is following. That's a rarity.
Ha. At least we're not in the Twilight Zone.
Boo-doo-doo, here is Blissy, the lightning Blissy.
Boogie. I am Lightning Bliss with Silver-Quill.
Yes.
Boogie!
Oh, I got the boogie fever. Funny enough, that is how if someone does come to our office at my day job, we have to ask all these questions that they probably answered ad nauseum. So at the end, it's like, have you had any coughing, dizziness, nausea, sore throat, boogie fever? And everyone gets tripped up on that last one. I'm sorry, what?
What?
That or random spontaneous singing, in which case I diagnosed them with the case of Disneyitis.
That's not a disease. That's a talent.
Well, I follow the Red Dwarf. Positive diseases. What was it? Positivity, optimism, attractiveness, magnetism.
Charisma.
Oh, yes. So, hello everyone. Well, happy Friday, happy end of the week. I hope this stream finds you all doing well. And I want to give some shout outs to folks, including folks who took an interest in my channel when it wasn't even on. Let's see here. We've got Emma Red, who followed me 5 hours ago. Then 2 days ago was, oh wow, watch me butcher this. 2780539406. I don't know if that's a bot. Now what is it? Trinary, who is both in the chat on Twitch and I believe in the chat on the YouTube. Yes, I see him on the YouTubes. How did you do that? How did you do that? I didn't think that was physically possible, but you did it. Let's see. Then 9 days ago, Yamila followed, as did Nova Star Sparkle 12, Elsa. Oh boy, Elsa Lavovue. I don't even know. How does one pronounce ELSALVAUWEWE? I think there's like some emojis hidden in there.
I have. Why name?
Why name? I'm confused. I feel confused and dumb. Normally I'm just dumb. But of course, there are also some very familiar and much more pronounceable names in the chat. I see Little Heart Studios and Comodra Steel, Preston Cox, and let's see here, Seth Carlos. Hello, welcome. Let's see here, just scrolling through. I see Flutter Chan. I saw Chris in there.
I think I saw Faith. No, Maddie's in there.
Yes, hello, Maddie.
Somewhere.
Oh, and the shiny Thunderclap Pokemon Zerora. Oh, and Furcorn Nick is now following. Welcome, Furcorn Nick. So,
Nice.
It's excellent. So, it's a wonderful... Oh, Renamon 565. Good to see you again. And Gojalan 91. Sniper Nighter and Comic Trail and Prism Shard. Welcome, everybody. And Champ to Stay. I think Champ asked you the traditional Thomas the Tank question before, yeah?
Oh yeah, I think I've answered that before.
This is the flaw in I'm delighted to have guests back, but then am I undoing Champ's routine or his recurring question?
Interesting.
And the Minor 1000. Don't worry if you couldn't be around for some streams. They are in a playlist on my YouTube channel. I make them unlisted so they don't occupy the whole main screen, but they're always there in the stream playlist. This is never a command performance. I will stream whenever, however I can. Trinary. Last week wasn't enough for you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really? Really now? There's no stopping this fella. Oh,
Noise,
Champ,
noise, noise, noise.
Champ wasn't here for my first stream with you, Blissy. So perhaps we should revisit this question. Thomas the Tank Engine and friends, have you partaken?
No, I've never partaken. Has that series been? How long has that series been around?
A very sizable time, it seems. I don't know the exact dates, but enough that a whole generation has witnessed it, and long enough for me to feel like a codger, not for not knowing much about it. Meh.
Eh.
Meh.
I get the concept. It's trains with faces, and they talk with their engineers, I guess. Um, but other than that, I don't know much about it. I respect that there's a huge community that really enjoys it. Excuse me. Um, and ironically, there is such a dedicated fandom behind it that they even made music, fan made music for it from the show that we actually use today in like the TF2 series and even my magic lessons, thanks to Will. So while I'm not a fan of the show, I do humbly respect it and the fans that enjoy it.
How common is it for a fandom to generate music? Because I saw a thread a few days ago. Folks were saying, "Oh, well, Five Nights at Freddy's is way bigger than the MLP fan base and more enduring." And I was like, part of me was like, "Yeah, and." But then other people were firing back. Oh, how many music videos have you seen with Five Nights at Freddy's? How many original songs? So the argument was that even if the Five Nights at Freddy's is the more numerous, it's not the more creative. So that made me wonder how often do fandoms partake of that level of creativity?
I guess that's a fair question. I can't say for sure for fandoms like Five Nights at Freddy's or Star Wars or Star Trek. Well, okay, to be fair, there are a lot of Star Wars fan-made projects out there. Let's be real.
Though they've had some more than 40 years to do so.
Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's. Again, if that's what people are interested in, that's what they're interested in. I don't. I just can't see how a video game though can generate that much. Okay, again, this is just my opinion. This is not factual, so please don't hate me, guys. I just can't see how a video game would generate that much enthusiasm to create as much content as a television show or a movie series, for that matter. But I could be wrong. I mean, look at Spyro.
Spyro's kind of a jerk.
I don't think he's a jerk.
Well, I got the Spyro Reignited trilogy, and I admit I've only played the first game. But I'm like, wait, why am I burning these sheep? They're not doing anything. Okay, later sheep, they've crossed the line. But these immediate sheep, I feel bad. I'm being mean to the sheep. I'm also hungry for mutton stew.
Yeah, you're a dragon. You're playing a dragon. Sheep are your natural feeding stock.
But I don't really eat them, do I? I just sort of burn them. I achieve total burnination.
Well, you burn them, so they'll spawn butterflies that you feed to sparks.
So they're actually the dragonfly. It's a dragonfly. They're the dragonfly's natural prey. You're just a proxy,
Yeah.
A symbiotic relationship.
But yeah, going back to like some fandoms like Five Nights at Freddy's and say comparing that to say Spyro, for instance. Five Nights at Freddy's, it has a story which I'm not aware of. I'm just told it does. But the concept is kind of a one note. You try to accomplish tasks and don't get scared doing it, or you're gonna get scared doing it, whichever comes first. But for games like Spyro's been around for a long time, and he sprung out into other things like Skylanders, I believe, and other concepts. I just feel like Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of a one-note thing. Maybe there's just not as much motivation to create fan work. But, I mean, not saying there isn't any. Like, there's a lot of SFM videos made in Gary's mod. Five Nights at Freddy's characters. There's people writing stories. I don't know about music, though.
I mean, for a time, the biggest fandom I claimed to have participated in was Digimon, and I don't remember much music. But that was in the internet was still kind of taking shape, and all of the big stuff hadn't yet solidified. There was a time before YouTube. It was a time of Angel Fire and GeoCities. And we had these things called web rings. They didn't last very long. It was more like I would actually call them a web donut. It wasn't good for you, and it didn't lead to anything fulfilling, but you consumed it nonetheless.
Yeah.
Also, I've been lax. I listed folks I saw on YouTube, but I have not given a shout out to folks in Twitch like Helsing Ghost 1. Chris is over there as well. And I saw, I see River. And I know I saw To Pig Boss 99. Good to see you again. I've not yet seen Drinking Buddy. It may be that he's actually getting some sleep, of which Sweetie Bloom would be proud. But then she'd be like, what else can I berate you on? You haven't seen Hamilton yet. You haven't seen Hamilton yet. And I'm like, no, I haven't seen Hamilton yet. I'm sorry.
You should watch the animatics of Hamilton. Those are really good.
An animatic of a play?
Yeah, there are literally people that did animatics of the play. It's amazing.
I see. There's some fandom content. That's something I hadn't considered. Making an animatic of a live action show.
Yeah.
Ooh,
like I could actually really truly see this come to life as a 2D animation production. But for now, animatics are nice. Yes.
Oh, speaking of fandom, King Gojira 1964 has opened the floodgates, and something I've been eager to talk to you about. What do you think of Godzilla vs. Kong coming out in March rather than May?
My hands are up. My body and spirit is ready. I want to see this movie so bad.
I'll say, come what may, just march right in. But further expanding, I'm
a huge Godzilla fan.
I was about to ask, are you Team Zilla or Team Kong?
No, if it's the Kong, Zilla all the way.
Yes, I join you on Team Zilla.
Yeah, and I went into many fun geek out discussions with Solar Flare and a few of my friends on this because, yeah, he's a huge fan too, and we're all just, I think he even suggested, hey, he should just come down from where he's at, because he actually lives in the same state we do, just 2 hours away, and was like, he just hang out for a week and we all go see the movie together. I'm like, yes! But, oh gosh, it's like, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Godzilla is a walking nuclear power plant. Not Godzilla. Kong is quite literally flesh and blood. He doesn't have any armor. Godzilla does. He has a lot of intelligence. Technically, Godzilla's not stupid either, and he can obviously take a beating. Whereas Kong is probably going to have to rely a lot on his intelligence, his ability to adapt, and probably stay more agile than Godzilla. But even then, my gut tells me with these kinds of movies, nobody's going to win in this fight, and something else that is bigger and probably stronger than the both of them is going to show up, and then they have to team up to stop it. So that's how I'm going to predict this movie is going to go. I'm okay with this, because that way Godzilla fans won't be too upset, Kong fans won't be too upset. Yeah, it's kind of oh, that's not fair, we want to see one of them win. Fine, but it's kind of, it's not an unusual formula. I've seen it in Freddy versus Jason.
And, well, I've seen people making jokes that as long as Godzilla isn't like, save Martha! And Kong be like, Kong be like, oh, ah, 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 which is gorilla for why would you say that name? Yes, I speak gorilla. Don't question it.
Yeah. It's also out of just pure bias. Godzilla was more closer to my time than Kong ever was. Kong was made in 1925. Check me on that. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure I can right away.
I can check on that. I do know Godzilla. The first Godzilla movie came out in 1954. First King Kong movie came out when?
I know Kong came out first because the reviews for Godzilla described him as making Kong look like a hamster.
This is accurate because Kong was only 50 to about 100 feet tall, and he came out in 1933, Kong. So Kong definitely has age over Godzilla. Godzilla has always been bigger.
Oh, and Voice of Reason confirms 1933. Hi, Voice.
Yes.
Hi, Yibi.
Thanks, voice.
Also, although I do love his saying, "Save Suki." Look, I saw the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla series. You don't need to save Godzuki. Let natural selection take its course. Please. I mean, it's like...
I still remembered that.
It's like Timmy and Lassie. At some point, Lassie, you're just defying nature. You just gotta let it take its course. Nature is beautiful, but also cruel. If you're strong, you live. If you're stupid enough to get trapped down the well 3 times running, then it's probably saying something.
This is about Godzuki.
I think it's become more about Lassie, but you know. And yeah, if Torterra were here, he'd be like, "Oh, who's Lassie?" I just like, I have never felt so old as when someone said, "Who's Lassie?" I don't even know what to say.
Okay, I guess I'm right there with you, because even I know who Lassie is.
That's right. It's just like, feeling so old. Get off my lawn.
The first time I had that moment was when I asked the question of, do you remember the movie where Sylvester Stallone starred in with Expendables, and my youngest sister asked, "Who's Sylvester Stallone?" Rambo? Rocky? Expendables? Doom Guy? Seriously? Judge Dredd?
That's right. I'm the law.
And yeah.
I should.
Law.
Oh, is that Aeon I hear in the background?
No, that was Sub-Zero.
Hello, Sub-Zero.
He just went into his room. He's enjoying his pizza.
Yes.
But yes, a little cameo from my husband. You betrayed the law.
Law. Komodo Steel is wondering, do you know about Smile?
Smile?
It's from the MLP books.
I don't read the books.
Okay, so she does not know about secret agents Lyra and Bon Bon. Except now she does, because I just said it.
Oh, wait, well, I remember from the 100th episode, yeah.
Yeah, Kathy Westlock, I believe, continued the books, and she expanded on Lyra and Bon Bon becoming agents for this secret organization in Equestria. Smile.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I don't know if a follow-up book was made. Ooh, that was passive voice. If they made a follow-up book. There we go.
Okay.
I try to be many things, but not passive. But, let's see. To quote Mad Munchkin, "Hey, Bliss, that's a lot of fish."
Maddie? Oh, I almost used your real name there for a second. Oh, you made me mad. Why do you have to do this? Why? That is a horrible movie. I tried to give it a chance, and then I was reminded of that horrible line and the terrible anatomy of how they...
So, Maddie made someone mad. It's madception. You know, I used to think that it was just playing into the angry Scottish joke, but now I believe that she likes driving everyone crazy. I had a kindred spirit in trolling and never knew.
All right, you know what, Maddie? Just for that, I'm gonna pull a Josh.
Oh.
Hello, I am Irish. Potato, potato, potato. Oh wait, I messed it up. No.
Oh dear.
I'm Scottish.
Well,
Potato, potato, potato.
if it helps, I'm 90% Irish. I can be mad for you.
Yeah, please do.
I
messed that up.
I could be offended in a completely stereotypical way. Hey, to me lady. Oh, why'd you gotta be doing things like that? Oh, wow, I just turned Wisconsin Irish. Hey, to oh, they're trying to steal me Lucky Charms. I'm an insult to my own heritage. Ta-ta.
They may take our freedom, but they will never take our terrible Scottish... I can't. I really can't.
Oh, but Maddie's saying nice try.
Yeah. Voice actor, I am not. I mean, when I attempted a Scottish accent, this was only after watching a couple of times of the movie Brave. So if I really put my heart and soul into it, I will come off as Irish.
For some reason, whenever I attempt an accent, it always eventually becomes Russian. I think I might be a sleeper agent, but I'm not sure.
It is always good in Russia, comrade.
Always cool. Actually, it's funny. An international trip with my family to Reykjavik. We were looking over the newspaper, and there was an article about someone named Snorri Snorrison. And my family was wondered what he did. I said, well, obviously he's part of a sleeper cell. It turns out he was actually a wonderful philanthropist, so kind of the opposite.
Nice.
But what a wonderful name, Snorri Snorrison.
That's probably a tongue twister. I wonder if it's pronounced the same way, though, in there. I mean, obviously, it's pronounced differently for us, but...
Likely, I'll just need to sleep on it.
Maddie says, half the time my Scottish accent either goes Swedish or Jamaican. Ouch.
Wait, yours as in Lightning Bliss, or yours as in Silver-Quill? Because I
think she meant me.
I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever gone Jamaican. I feel like I'd probably say something wrong. Very wrong.
You want to play a Pokemon? I'm going to go sit in the corner now.
Oh, I could think we were like, yeah, kids, I play the Pokemons. I'm cool and jiggy with it.
Even trying to sound like the voice actor from the movie Brave. Silver-Quill gets away with everything. He'll get away with murder. This is the best that my Scottish accent that I can actually recreate. Please make me stop.
No. The only thing I look to murder is a plate full of brownies, which Twink stole from me today.
Serves you right.
I hope you all have checked out Lightning Bliss's latest revenge video against myself. My poor, innocent self.
Innocent, my rainbow butt.
Oh my.
He always has it coming, guys. He keeps asking for it, and I keep encouraging it.
Please. The funny thing is that this most recent revenge was prompted by what we talked about in this year's art stream.
Yes. Though, to be fair, you've been poking the alicorn on multiple occasions. It just took me a while to get around to it. And I needed to find a theme. I like to have a theme with these videos when I do revenge. So, like, the last time, it was definitely monster and big summer flick movies, such as Jurassic World and the Meg, and of course Avengers Endgame. That was fun. And and yeah, I'll have a Disney theme one time. I had Disney villains as a theme at one point. That was fun.
Yes,
But yeah, I like to have a theme.
you turned me into Ariel, and it was like me with a clamshell bra. Right?
It's not the first time. Remember the jaw sequence?
Da da. Nom
You
nom.
were a skiing lady.
Nom 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 nom. And I looked fantastic.
I think my favorite one was the Ghostbusters one. Are you a god?
No.
Then die. I got 4 kills out of that. It wasn't just Silver. Got Doc, Josh, and Thespio. Nice.
Multi-kill.
Monster kill.
But still, to avenge my plate of brownies, I've sworn that I somehow need to get back at Twink. But then the question is, how? I might need another year or two to figure that one out.
Getting back at my pet magical rainbow monster. Yeah, have fun with that.
I'll see what I can cook up.
Should I be more evil to him, chat? Should I tell him what kind of brownies those were?
Oh, don't you dare.
Oh, I think I will. See, now I'm tempted.
How dare.
So here's the thing. I saw a recipe on YouTube, shocker, called the 100-hour brownies, and I actually gave it a shot. It took me a second attempt because on the first attempt, apparently the owner of the recipe, I think he wrote the ingredients wrong. Because for some odd reason, it clearly states 1 tablespoon of salt.
Ooh.
For a batch of brownies? That can't be right. But I followed the recipe, and oh no, it was ruined.
Oh yeah, pucker right up.
It was absolutely ruined. I even went to Ellie, who took classes in culinary arts, and I asked her, Ellie, am I going insane? Did I read that right? Did I do it wrong? And she looked at the recipe and she said, no, you read that right, but it's still wrong.
But is it the right kind of wrong?
It was the right kind of wrong. So I disregarded the salt completely and just redid the batch. The reason why it takes 100 hours, though, is because the batter needs to sit in the refrigerator for 3 days. Then you bake it. Then you immediately take it out and freeze it after baking for about 30 minutes. Then you put it back in the refrigerator again for another entire day. Apparently this process helps to keep moisture into the brownies. The ending result is when it's completed and you take the brownies out, maybe wait to get them at room temperature or warm them up, you get a very rich, delicate, moist, very chocolatey brownie. And holy cow, it's something I feel like you could only get at an actual bakery, a professional bakery. It was just, it had the consistency of lava cake. It was that good.
Oh my. Oh, well, now that is definitely cruel and unusual, mostly unusual, that I'm denied these brownies. Oh.
Yes.
There should be a Geneva Accords convention against such things. How dare, Blissy? How dare?
I wonder if I should attempt to make those for a con we go to next time.
I'd be impressed with your determination. I don't think I could wait 3 whole days working on brownies.
Oh, more like 4. It was 4 days. It was torture.
Oh, it's foregone conclusion. No,
4 days, about 100 hours of waiting. Perseverance. It is worth the wait, though. I will say that.
As long as it paid off, wow.
Oh yes, it paid off. I tasted something I never would have gone with a normal batch of brownies that I would make out of my mother's cookbook. No offense, Mom. I love your brownies too.
Let's see here. We have a question from, well, first off, a comment from Snowy Motorcycle, who says, yours is the coolest OC.
Yes, Silver-Quill does have a very cool OC.
Right, he's talking about your OC.
I think he needs to get his eyes checked.
I don't. I think it's pretty cool.
I think mine is. I mean, I like her. I do. I admit that I do like her, but I try not to toot my own horn. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on, toot away.
I don't like to toot.
Look here, I'll give a little toot. Whoops, wrong toot.
Still find it funny that some of the first reviewers I meet, they're not even ponies. They're a wolf and a hippogriff.
It's true. We tried to be all hipster. In my case, I'm a hipster griff. I was a griff before it was cool. Meh.
Can't argue with that.
Speaking of, you were telling me a little bit about how you first met the Wolfie Wolf and myself at Nightmare Nights.
Right. So I don't think I met you in 2014. I don't think you were there.
No, I was a little later on the convention scene than others.
Okay. Yeah, 2014 Nightmare Nights. I was working at a Subway at the time, and I was the assistant manager, so I couldn't get the entire weekend off to go be there. But I could only go for like one day. And I only found out about Nightmare Nights from my assistant colleague who worked with me at the Subway, and he said, "Hey, ever heard of this Nightmare Nightcon? You want to go?" Sure, but we'd have to drive 4 hours to Dallas and then 4 hours back, so we'd be back to work the next morning. But he seems fine with that, and I guess I wanted an adventure, so I went and did it. I did know Doc and you at the time, but I also came to a conclusion that you guys were, put it this way, guys, I put them on a pedestal, like they are beyond my reach. They are the big idols. Never talk to them. They're like superstars. Don't, just keep your head down. Keep your head down. That was my view of Silver-Quill and Doc at the time.
Oh, we
I
shattered
need to
that
point
illusion.
out. Oh yes, you all. Well, I wouldn't say. Yeah, maybe you shattered it a little bit, but I also just came to a reality check that there are people like me. We're all people. And putting people on a pedestal is not really good for yourself, and it's not good for those you put on a pedestal for either. I came to that conclusion probably a few months after the fact, after getting used to everybody.
Now you owe me money. You owe me you owe me a quarter.
No, I don't want a quarter. I need the quarter. I need it for the laundromat.
Well, I need it for the car wash after it snows, which it might.
Oof. But yes, I get to Nightmare Nights in 2014, and I have no intentions of meeting anybody that I considered on the pedestal for me. I met Robin0928 and Comic Sans, and I believe that was it at the time, and we were just chilling. When Robin points out that, oh, hey, look, there's Doc. I look over, and yeah, sure enough, Doc is coming out from, I guess, from a panel, and he's with his brother, Tarek Dragon, and his two nephews. And Robin immediately says, hey, let's go over and say hi to him. And no, deer in the headlights, absolutely not. I'm flabbergasted. I say, no, I have no intention of saying hi to him. He looks busy. He's surrounded by fans. I don't want to bother him. He just wants to enjoy the con like everybody else, and he deserves it. So let's go this way, and we go that way. And I am avoiding Doc like the plague. I have absolutely no intention of saying hi at all. Apparently, according to Doc's side of things, he would tell me later is that he had been trying to talk to me that entire convention. But every time he attempted, I would disappear.
Just having this.
I kind of feel bad about that.
I don't know. Kind of have this image of lightning bliss. Smoke bomb.
Teleport. But he did eventually he didn't corner me, but he came up to me while I was looking at something on the vendor table, and he approached me with a question. Apparently, a fan gave him a an original frame from the G1 series. Now, here's something I discovered very recently I believe it was last year in March when I was actually antiquing with Lady Wolf, where we stumbled upon an antique shop that was actually selling a few of those frames. And according to the owner, nice old guy, he informed me that these frames from the G1 series, they are super rare because apparently the original studio that held them in, I guess, a safe of some sort, it burned up, taking all those original hand created frames with them. So that kind of shocked me a little bit. But anyway, I kind of already knew they were rare. Um, and it and at the so okay, getting back to the story. I am already flabbergasted with Doc asking me a question, and then I look at the frame and realize what it is. My eyes dilate, and I basically kind of burst out, "Oh, it's a G1 frame. That is super rare. If it were me, I would hang it on my wall and frame it and never let it go. If you don't want it, though, I'll take it off your hands." And I didn't think that through when I said that. I was terrified. And I didn't know how to take his reaction. He certainly wasn't mad or anything, but he said no, that he think he could hang on to it because a fan did give it to him after all as a gift. And then after that, I said, "Okay, nice talking to you," and I ran. I ran out of the vendor hall. I disappeared as fast as I could.
Oh, and she ran so far away. Actually, I
And
don't.
yes, sorry for taking up your time.
No. I wanted to hear this story. I wanted to share the story because now look at you. You're a key animator and a talent on for TF2. You've done collaborations with Dr. Wolf, and with me, and with Josh. I mean, I think you bounced back from the idea that we are some far distant elitist troupe, and I'm glad you did.
It was certainly a lesson to learn for me that y'all are I still look up to you guys a lot, and there are days where I will get that little nick of, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm friends with these guys," but um just to step back to reality that everybody is people, and we're all people, and yeah, I'm rambling. um but maybe uh putting too high, I think the other issue is about putting people on a pedestal kind of puts on a fantasy expectations of what you expect these people to be about, and it's probably just not a good idea to do, because I think you've stated before to me, and I think it was in one of my scripts I was writing, um, where individuals put these they put themselves lower when they put expectations on people they idolize, and they think they're not worthy of their time, which is hurtful. I think you said it best, though.
Well, it's all a balancing act. I mean, that may be the topic of your next video, so I don't want to give too much away. Not too much.
Not too much, not too much, but it's something that you say, so yeah, I won't say too much.
Instead, I want to bring up some questions. One such question is, what was your favorite season of My Little Pony?
Oh, that's hard. um, I honestly cannot be sure, because I feel like I can mention something positive out of each season. So I can't say for sure that I have a favorite season, but definitely favorite episodes. Possibly, but if I had to wager a guess, possibly season 3 or 4 would be my favorites. Don't ask me why I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
Oh my! Well, that actually leads into another question. What is your favorite MLP episode?
Oh, it's like choosing between my favorite desserts.
This comes courtesy of Little Heart Studios.
Little Heart Studios, that is an evil question. I had to think long and hard about it because I keep getting hung up on why this episode means so much to me versus why this episode means so much to me. But then I kind of realized something. Maybe it's not a question of why I like this episode because I happen to like maybe the character involved and the story. But why do I relate to it more than, say, this one? So originally, I was going to say Lesson Zero was my favorite episode because Twilight horribly reminds me of me when it comes to the tiniest little thing going wrong and nobody understands my grief about it, and trying to explain to someone that I need to get this done now, but you don't have a deadline. No, you don't understand. I still need to do it now because if I can't, then I can't do this and then I can't do that. But it's like, you're not on a deadline though. You're your own boss. You can control your own deadlines. That's beside the point. No, I get what Twilight was going through there. The frustration that something goes wrong and nobody understands your grief about it. But that's more of a relation to Twilight. So the reason why I'm changing my mind on the episode, or more like I'm changing my choice, and I'm actually going to say Once Upon a Zeppelin.
Ah, Twilight's Families episode.
Yeah, because the lesson speaks more volumes to me in regards to how many times I've had to relearn this lesson repeatedly, and that is taking time for yourself and not putting everybody above you all the time.
Well, believe me, I can identify with that flaw as well.
it's one of those things where like you want to do good for others, you want to be there, you want to serve. Yeah, and I do. I love to serve others and I love to entertain and I like to help. I even took this personality quiz where I'm considered a defender, basically somebody who thrives on helping and supporting other people, even though I am an introvert, but I have a natural tendency to assist others, even if it's in big or small social gatherings. Thought that was interesting. However, the flaws of this personality is that you sometimes don't have a line and you lose track of taking care of yourself. And I have done this multiple times. And to the point where I've unfortunately made friends worry, and I feel bad about that. I don't want to make my friends worry. That's burdening them. That's making them feel bad. I don't want to do that. I've been trying to get better at it.
Excellent. For my part, my favorite episode and my favorite season happened to be in season 2. Because I adore Sisterhood Social. And it's kind of funny that while it specifically talks about sisters, but I saw some dynamics with my brother. The overeager and often annoying younger brother growing up. And he was very patient with me. But the message was great, and the emotion, I love the story structure in that in some episodes you'd think that Rarity would be trying to learn that lesson throughout the whole thing, but she wakes up halfway through and the other half is trying to mend the rift she created. And I just loved that structure. So and no disrespect to Twilight, because I think she's wonderful, but I was also fascinated that this was a Twilight Light episode. I think one of only like 3. There aren't many.
I think you're right. Yeah.
There aren't many episodes. Pardon me one sec. Just, folks, I appreciate enthusiasm, but I've seen a lot of folks spamming questions in the chat, and That's really not okay. If it keeps up, you get a timeout. If you don't respond to warnings, you get a block. That's just basic etiquette online. And while I'm grateful that folks are willing to give of their time and attention, if you can't respect the other people in the chat or folks like Light and Bliss and myself, then you're actually diminishing the enjoyment of this stream. Anywho, let's see here. Just scrolling back. Cosmic Trail Wonders. What is your opinion on the G5 concept that was posted on Equestria Daily?
Yes, I heard about that, ironically, through Doc's channel. um, I'm not worried about it. I am interested in seeing how they're going to tackle it. My only hope is that that the fantasy aspect, the adventure aspect, the magic aspect of this thriving universe that has been created won't be sucked out as a result. Also, I see Uncle Songhorse is in the chat.
Yes, I see him too. Hello, Thespio.
I get that they want to tackle modern, how do they say it? Modern
issues, like diversity
yes.
and inclusion.
Yeah. Modern. So basically today. Okay. That is going to be a challenge, considering I don't want to go into it and I don't want to bring the stream down. There's been a lot of issues that happen in the world, and those are going to be some very challenging topics. Are they talking about those kind of topics? And if they are, how are they going to bring that about where it, assuming that their main target is children, and hopefully adults, like they did previously, how are they going to tackle that without being, I guess offensive would be the proper term, or without choosing sides or getting political?
I will join my concern / confusion. It's the thing about that press release or that consumer report. It was full of what one would call buzzwords, but it was very light on substance. I'll be talking about this in a video hopefully published next week, but one of the key things in any story is character, including if one is striving for representation. You have to have a real character. And right now, what they've described is a structure or a goal, but we know nothing of the characters by which they'll express that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really praise or condemn the show based on what it is, based on what it's been said so far, because it hasn't told us anything. Although I did get to flashback to 2010, which feels so very long ago now. There was an article denouncing Friendship is Magic before it even aired, trying to bring up the topics of race and representation. And I still read that and it's like, but they're pastel colored equines. I don't know if they can do what you're asking. Then the author also took huge issue with Princess Celestia. Huge issue.
Oh boy. Not Princess some butt.
Oh, so who could have an issue with Celestia? I mean, you could start to have issues with her leadership style, but that's worth discussion, not denouncement.
Yes, I keep forgetting you're the Luna fan, and I am the Celestia fan. Though, it's funny because I actually just got done writing another script. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I actually I actually admit why I understand people do like Luna so much. I get it. I could see why so many people relate to her more than Celestia, because it's not even about screen time anymore, because I used to just chop it up to that. Well, Luna had more screen time and more character development than Celestia ever did. No, I'm not going to use that anymore. But I am gonna point out that yeah, Luna did some things that I think a lot of people in our fandom just relate to more than what Celestia went through. And that being that maybe you worked really hard for those you care about, but you're never acknowledged and you're frustrated, you get angry and people don't understand you, and then you make bad decisions. I think people can relate to that a little bit more than, say, Celestia having to deal with this individual and banishing her to the moon.
Although the
I,
troll or vilification of Celestia for doing that, it was undeserved.
yeah, punishment don't fit the crime. I guess that's debatable. Um,
I don't think it's punishment for a crime. It's more averting disaster.
yeah, it's it's like I get it, Luna. You were feeling ignored and unappreciated by your own people, and I'm going based off the show, but really my video is actually reflecting on fan made content.
Mm-hmm.
But going by the show's logic, Luna felt ignored and understandable, relatable, and she made a decision to let her darker impulses take over and make bad decisions. Unfortunately, when an Alicorn does this, it can jeopardize the entire country. She really did not give Celestia a choice here, and people forget that that was a really difficult decision for Celestia to do. She didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's specifically said she reluctantly did so in the very first episode.
Yeah, and even in the flashback when we see Twilight seeing the history of how this all went down, you can clearly see Celestia is crying before she commits to banishing Luna. She didn't want to do it, so it's just one of those things where I just relate to Celestia more than Luna and on this side of the story here. That's all. But I can see why more people would relate more to Luna, because I get it. It's a very relatable topic where you feel like you're not appreciated. Respect to the Luna fans.
And,
Pray somebody.
and respect to the Celestia fans. Anyway, let's see here. What were your thoughts on the We're Not Flawless song of Fame and Misfortune?
I need to listen to that more, but I actually like it. It's catchy.
It is, as MLP songs go, I feel like it fell a little bit into repetition, but I like the core message.
Yeah, I like the core message. It does suffer some repeats and repeated animation, but uh, could it have done more? Yeah, maybe, but it's still catchy. And as long as the song is catchy to me and I can remember it, then I'd say it did its job. Kind of like what was the song? We're Friends for Life.
Hmm, I'm not sure.
No, Friends Till the End of Time. I think that was the song.
Although we're now conveniently tying into the question from Snowy Motorcycle, what's your favorite song in general? I'm going to open this to more than just MLP.
I was about to say, yeah, because there's so many amazing fan made songs too. Mm, it's really hard for me to. There's so many, and I can all classify them as favorites. Um, Recently, what I fell in love with, music wise from the fandom, is Prince Whatever's song of, I think it was called Rise Against the Sisters. I think that's what it was called. Let me check that. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Where did you go from
Ah,
Cotton Eye Joe?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Ah, Together Against the Sisters. Yes, that was a fan made song. You can find it on Prince Whatever's channel. Highly recommend. He does a lot of good music. Um, but the music basically focuses on a universe where Princess Luna and Princess Celestia become evil.
Whoa.
And I think it's also involves the Imperial Guard and the Solar Guard. You know the fanfic story? I haven't read it myself, but
I'm not certain. To be honest, I'm getting a weird flashback of a sort of a adaptation of Warhammer with the Cutie Mark Crusaders as the Warhammer. Twilight and friends were all corrupted by chaos, so they became evil, and it was, and oddly enough, Trixie was the caretaker of the Crusaders for a time. Because fans did love Trixie to be sort of forced into the role of caretaker. And lo and behold, season 9 gave them that.
Yeah.
Now let's see here. Earlier I saw Metalhead Brony Ososh. O-S-O-C-H. Ososh? Did a nice cover of Flawless, taking the vocals and making a new hard rock instrumental for it. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, and probably too late to wish Little Heart Studios a good night, but had to go to rest up, which is good.
Oh, gotcha.
And Maddie would like to do a video about the Real Sisters. I would be very game for that. Very game.
Oh yes. But yeah, I believe there was a fanfic written called it involved something along the lines of the sisters are at war with each other, and there's like the Solar Empire and the Lunar Eclipse Squad or something, but choose your side. I remember that being a thing a few years ago. But Prince Whatever basically told the stories through songs, and the one that really got me hooked was the song where Together Against the Sisters involves that Celestia and Luna have gone off their rockers, and not only are they threatening each other, but they're threatening the entire world. And Lunar Republic, thank you, Joanna Seaman, Seaman, there we go. But it was a very powerful vocal where the Lunar Republic and the Solar Empire
Blissy? Uh-oh. Blissy, I'm not hearing you. And yes, she did call you Joanna. Sorry about that. Bliss, I cannot hear you. Let me fire a message in the chat. Let's see here. I can't hear you. Can the chat hear you? Did something drop? Oh dear. We were just doing great. Arr. Oh dear. I've lost the bliss. I've lost my bliss in life. And the Skype just went down. Oh no, she's lost internet. She has to go check under the sofas for the internet. So, we just need a little bit of time to figure things out. I don't know what's going on there. So that's just... No, Battlecross. I have not broken Lightning Bliss. My goal is not to break her. It's just to test her patience repeatedly. So, you know what? I bet it was she mentioned the Lunar Republic and the Solar Empire was all like, oh no, we're not going to let you spread your propaganda. So, let's see here. We have a Lightning Bliss down. I repeat, a Lightning Bliss down. I'll just have her start a call whenever your internet returns. So, apologies for technical difficulties, but hey, sometimes we just can't control such things. Now, let's see here. But I do not wish to break Lightning Bliss. Oh, perish the thought. I do not want to break my friends. I just test their patience. Grizz wants us to send a spirit bomb to Bliss, or at least to her internet. Yes, Magical Dude, every time I test her patience, I get burn marks and bite marks from Twink. But you know what? You give a little, you get a little. You give a little grief, you get a lot of grief. And Miner 1000. I did not kill her internet. I don't even know how to do that. Believe me, if I was going to pull a clue on anyone's internet, it would be someone who I thought was using the internet for genuinely harmful things. But let's see here. We're Blissy down. Yes, that is. Well, I do call Blissy cute to drive her a little bonkers. Let's see here. Anita DuPont. Have you thought about doing a masterclass about how to be a good YouTuber in the animation community? I would first have to be a master at it, and I feel like I'm still stumbling through the dark. Folks, I tell you true, none of what has happened over the past, I would say, 8 years was planned. When I did a video, ironically because Twilicorn was making everyone so upset, I feel a little echo of that with this G5 announcement and the debate it sparked. I thought I'd just get on my soapbox every now and again, and I'd be lucky if I get 100 followers. I've been overwhelmed and humbled by the support people have shown. And I've tried to live up to that support. I don't think I've succeeded, so I don't think I'm in a position to lecture on how to be a good YouTuber. I will say having watched YouTubers, I can hardly say what I think is a bad YouTuber, especially folks who rely on vitriol and drama as their main draw. That is an effective strategy in the short term. It's not sustainable. If anything, eventually I think your own audience will become disgusted with you. Oh, Gojaland91, welcome back. I'm afraid Blissy's internet did a skedaddle on her, so now we're waiting for her return. I'm trying to fill it in as much as I can. Right now, I'm trying to draw this house, which, depending on where you're looking, or the screenshot, is all the way over here. So, once again, Ponyville's accordion-like proportions and layout is charming and frustrating at the same time. Let's see here. Oh, welcome, Wushi23. Let's see here. Just check through. Technical nuke struck her internet? I certainly hope not. Just... Medicine Kun, how am I doing? I'm hanging in there. It's been a tough couple, I would say 2 weeks. There's been just a lot of hard news outside the fandom. And then there was strangeness within the fandom with this G5 announcement. I'm looking forward to G5, but I admit that there is a fear that lightning may not strike twice. And yes, I'm totally basing that pun off my guest host. Yes. So let's see here. Let me just shoot Lissy a quick message via the texty text, which where is... Just her new call whenever it returns. But I hope she can return before we call it good for the evening. It would be a rather unceremonious end. No. Let's see here. Prism Shard, you've been wondering if Blissy and I have seen Cobra Kai. I, unfortunately, have not. As Trinary will tell you, with my lack of watching The Good Place in a timely manner, and Sweetie Bloom with watching Hamilton, I fall behind on stuff to watch because there's only so many hours in the day. The day job demands at least 8 of them. Oh dear, it seems Blissy is struggling with a bad adapter. So we'll see. We'll see what all can happen. We'll figure it out. Or hey, but Cobra Kai, I've watched Jeremy Johns, his video on it, and if you want to talk about a really good YouTuber, Jeremy Johns I think is a prime example because he is honest when he doesn't like something, but he's not vitriolic about it. Maybe a little hyperbolic at times, but you never get the sense that he genuinely hates anyone or is playing up anger for views or comedy. He just gives his honest reaction. But I resent him so much for that uncut hair, that lion's mane of grandeur, that I, a thinning man, can only dream of. So bitter. Let's see here. While Bliss isn't here, what ships do you have you planned for her this Valentine's Day? I would not give away my plans because I find that usually that's a good way to make the universe laugh. I do want to talk about why do fans ship. And on that, I feel I'm probably a prime example. I enjoy shipping. I just do. It's, well, it's fun to envision how characters would grow and change from a relationship, how it would challenge them. The whole... when you're young, I think you envision how perfect a relationship will be, but really the good stuff is when it's not. That's when you really test someone's character and you realize how much they care for the other when they're willing to work through or put up with less than enjoyable aspects. Because that is what a real relationship is based on. Oh, hi LB308. I'm afraid Lightning Bliss, her internet is being difficult right now, but we'll hope for her return. Champ, what is the biggest thing I've ever seen? Suppose that depends on, just big. On a drive very early in the morning, we some friends and I, we came upon a valley that the sun was just perfect, and the whole grandeur of it hit us all at once. There was a collective gasp from the group, and it was wonderful, except for my friend in the back, who was, I think, working on her smartphone. So, yeah, lost opportunity there. Welcome, Noah Ruiz Gallardo. Thank you once again for your phonetical spellings. Pleased to see you, and appreciate the Hail, Luna, and Celestia. And yes, Trinary, she called you Joanna. But, to be fair, our eyes play tricks on us. No, to Pig Boss, it was not Death Valley. This was Cresta Butte. So no, honestly, Death Valley. I read about that in like 5th grade, and maybe this says something about what stories I would prefer growing up. The assignment was write as if you were living in Death Valley. How would you learn? I wrote that my family befriended the local tribes, and we learned how to survive thanks to their help. I liked the idea of living. I think there were probably other students who would probably have loved the whole, oh, my whole family is dying, I am dying too. Blech. Oh, hail, the Bliss returns. Hail, hail.
Oh, well, that was fun.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you. Yes, my adapter's been causing me a lot of heartache these past few days, so might just be time to be needing to get a new one.
Let's see here. I'm trying to recall. We were talking about the Lunar Republic and the Solar Empire.
Oh, right, yes. And I was talking about the song that basically both the citizens of the Solar Empire and the Lunar Republic had to unite together to stop the sisters from essentially destroying their world. And the song is a very powerful almost warlike but righteous melody that I can really get behind, because in the end it's about they something where they all should have just come together in the first place, but now the people are having to unite together against two tyrants, essentially.
Well, I'm not usually a fan of presenting the princesses as tyrants, but but it sounds like an interesting premise.
It's an interesting premise on the account that, yeah, I would agree with you. I don't like seeing the princesses being viewed as tyrants. This is a universe that obviously was fan made. Um, but I can get behind the idea that you have two powerful magical beings and they are at war with each other, to the point that they have absolutely no problem with destroying everything in their path, just out of just because they can, and because they don't like each other.
This is where you get an hour-long loop of Billy from Billy and Mandy. Destroy us all! Destroy us all! Destroy us all!
They'll destroy us all! They'll destroy us all! Yeah, essentially. Oh, goodness.
Question from Chemp to Stay. Have you ever heard of the musical Starlight Express?
Oh, repeat that again?
Have you ever heard of the musical Starlight Express?
Musical Starlight Express? No, I don't think so.
I recall that that's come up in conversation before, but I too have not yet seen it. That sounds like a contradiction somehow.
Let me see if I can't get back into the stream so I could see the chat. Because my computer is just like, you made me restart without warning, you monster. I'm sorry, Marshmallow, but you weren't acknowledging my adapter.
Oh, goodness.
I am arguing with my computer. Yes, I apologize for the weirdness. Alrighty. Okay, I think I'm back. There we go.
Go. Let's see here. Bliss or Silver from Enderpup. Would you cosplay? I believe we both have.
Cosplay as what?
Would you ever cosplay?
Would I ever? Well, technically I do as Bliss. But technically I also did for my D&D character Amber Hawthorne. That was at Will and Katie's wedding, I believe.
There you go. Well, does Halloween count as cosplaying? I mean,
I'd say yes.
Because I went as the...
Maybe?
What is it? I went as the Matt Smith Doctor. I believe that's the 11th. I got special boot shoes, and I actually found a jacket that matched his.
I lost you there for a second. I didn't hear most of that. I'm sorry.
Well, I did a cosplay one Halloween as the Matt Smith's Doctor, which I believe is the 11th, or is it the 12th? No, wait, Capaldi was the...
Okay.
Yes. Trinary confirms he's the 11th. Oh, yes, there was also the earlier question of our favorite Skittle flavor.
I actually detest Skittles.
Uh,
There's a story behind it.
Hey, what? What? Oh, God, I've got to go change the thumbnail of this. Toot sweet. I thought Skittle...
No. I love rainbows. No, I love rainbows. I love rainbows. I like starbursts. Does that count?
I bet I called you the Skittle corn. I thought it was a compliment.
I'm fine with people calling me the Skittle corn. That's fine. I'm not offended by it at all.
Okay.
It's just I had a bad experience with Skittles, and I can't look at them ever again.
Oh dear.
Yeah, the story behind that is I need to make this perfectly clear that there was no malicious intent. It was an accident. I should have paid attention to the red flags, and maybe this could be used for you in the future, Silver, and to our other friends. But basically, I had a bad experience with some baked goods uh, that were given to me by a fan. The red flag is there were a couple of red flags. One is he said this was his first time baking, and the second was he actually did bake Skittles into the cookies.
Skittles and cookies. I'm used to M&Ms.
Yeah, so you can do this with M&Ms because it's chocolate and they're just covered with an outer shell exterior. It won't hurt the baking process, and it certainly won't make a chemical reaction with the dough. Skittles, on the other hand, is pure sugar and has all sorts of food dyes and all other ingredients that I'm not even sure of.
You,
Um,
we can't pronounce them. That shows how not food they are.
yeah. So the ending result is I gave them a shot. I ate one and a half, and I can vouch that there was something wrong with them because Chuggle took a gamble and ate half of one as well. However, his oh, what do you call him? His oh, what do you call that word?
Uvula? Medulla
No,
oblongata?
no, no.
Medulla oblongata?
His the side effects, what he experienced was minuscule compared to what I went through.
Mm.
He said his stomach was a little upset and gurgled, but it wasn't nothing he couldn't shake off or walk off. Whereas me, I was crippled, to the point where I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not, because Kichi, FIM, and Hungry Soma and her husband, husband Bon were there, as well as Struggle. Um, I was basically lying on the bed in excruciating amount of pain,
Ooh.
um, to to the point where I I'm a full grown 30-year-oldish woman and I am crying for my mother. That's how bad it was.
Oh.
And it finally just got to a point where I was laying on the bed for probably about 30-40 minutes, and Kichi came up and asked me, hey, what do you want me to do? Just tell me. And I said, if this does not go away in 15 minutes, call 911,
Oh, wow.
because there was something really, really wrong. Um, but thankfully, the 15 minutes came and went, and by then it settled down and I recuperated. Uh, but it was probably one of the most crippling pains I ever felt in my life. And we immediately threw those cookies away. I spoke to the fan who gave them to me and calmly but politely told him that I had to throw those cookies away, and I'm sorry, and the reason why was this. And he felt awful, just absolutely awful. I mean, to be fair, he said he tried them himself, and he said he didn't see a problem with them other than they had a really odd texture. But just to play devil's advocate for him, he's a Navy SEAL, or well, no, he's not a SEAL. He's in the Navy. Those guys are tough. So he could probably handle some baked goods that are rough around the edges. Not me, though. Nope, 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 nope. So yes, I have sworn away from Skittles. Never again. Um, Respect to those who still like them. And I don't mind being called Skittle Corn because that's been with me for far too long. I'm not going to tell people to stop calling me that.
Well, let's see. Just checking through the chat, but no, that sounds terrible. I'm so sorry you had to endure that. I mean, I haven't had Skittles in forever. I admit I have a special weakness for the lime ones, but they're they're very much not good for you. Like you say, pure sugar.
Yeah. Pure sugar and a lot of food dye. I know that much.
Let's see here. Huh. Flutterchan is wondering, I don't know about this. What are your thoughts on Idris Elba and his wife becoming executive producers on a new anime coming soon? No release date yet.
Um, I'm gonna be that person who's not a big time weeaboo because I don't know who those people are. um, yeah.
Let's see here. I want to do justice. Well, Idris Elba is a English actor, writer, producer, rapper, singer, songwriter, and DJ. He's not big in anime, so I'm curious what his role. I know very little about this. I'll tell you true.
Okay.
I'll tell you true, everyone. I've fallen out of touch with anime. Although recently, some of my vending hall buds were showing a bunch of anime, and I discovered quite possibly the worst animated anime in history. You're gonna be hard pressed to beat X Arms.
Hmm.
This is an anime, and I've researched this a little because it was so bad it's fascinating. You know, I mean, it is a proverbial train wreck. You don't want to stare, but you can't look away. Uh, the it's Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll wanted to make an original anime, and for a animation director, they hired a live action director who has uh, no experience in animation.
Uh, okay.
And
Weird.
it's apparently based on, I think it's a manhwa, not a manga, but a manhwa.
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 Huh.
But I mean, one here's to give an example. The characters have no expressions. Their faces are locked in perpetual dilated no, not dilated, pinprick shrunk pupils. And you feel as though they are trying to steal your soul, for they have none of their own. And as this is computer generated, there is only one movement point for their jaws. So when they talk, it is so one note. Anyone who's ever dissed Ruby's animation now has no room to criticize. There's worse out there. There's worse. This is something I actually said to myself, you know, I never got to make a choice for a riffing rainbow, or I know a riffing video. You know, we did the Hug a Bunch, which was a lot of fun. And we did Computer Warriors, and Josh and the Woodfield Wolf tackled A Very Minty Christmas. But I never got to choose. I would actually get folks to watch like just one episode, 20 minutes, I think. But I swear, several members would be crying by the end. Literally crying for the quality. It's so bad.
Maybe you ought to present the idea though, just to have fair game.
Present the idea. Although it being an anime, I don't think our dear Wolf would enjoy it. I think it would cause legitimate crisis of conscience there.
That's fair.
So I'm wondering, would like Thespio or Jasper be a good riffer?
Possibly. I'm not sure if they're as into anime though. But don't quote me on that.
Let's see here. We got to first off. I neglected to thank Amy Double Rainboom 1997 for following. Hopefully, Amy is over in YouTube now. Oh, Voice is volunteering his tribute. Let's see here. Royal Silver is wondering, have I watched the Ultraman anime? And have I seen the second season of The Arrival of Ultraman Taro? I have watched the Ultraman anime. Mixed enjoyment there. I have not seen Taro, but you should check out my friend Kaiju no Kami, God of Giant Monsters. And he does reviews of Giant Monster and Tokusatsu and anime. So if you're looking for folks who can give their honest reactions, especially to Taro, which I think he's enjoying, he's the go-to person. Now, let's see. Trinary is recommending The Elm-Chanted Forest, an American Yugoslav animated film from the 1980s. Okay, I'm actually more afraid that you said 1980s. than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I like 80s cartoons. I have a fondness for them, but I've learned to recognize there was a lot of bad involved too. I
Yeah.
mean, wow.
Oh, yes.
Wow. And yet,
There were just some crazy stuff the 80s did back then that you cannot get away with today.
and shouldn't. But still, the animation then was better than X-Arms. I cannot stress this enough. I'm having flashbacks. I'm having flashbacks to the main hero looking like he's having a bad trip, and he wants me to come along. Oh, dear. I've gone off the deep end on this one. Let's see here. Oh, Gojalion91 has to head out for the evening, so thank you for coming to the stream.
Yes.
Oh, and I see Darth Revan 226 in the chat. Good to see you. Let's see here. I'm just trying to think about some other things. There was a TF2 question about how we got out of the bunker in the episode where Eliora tried on the mask for the pyro.
I'm sure eventually Ellie, Jasper, or Thespio eventually let them out.
Or they're
I
still
think the better question is... Oh, sorry.
or they're still trapped and you've all been seeing apparitions up until now. He vanished, or maybe they were never there at all. But I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, or Silver-Quill eventually let them out. I mean, he got out. If he could get out of there, then odds are he could get out of those chains that Ellie left him strung up to at one point.
Oh, my. Champ to Stay would like to know, what is the weirdest Hanna-Barbera cartoon you've seen?
It's the weirdest Hanna-Barbera cartoon I've seen. This one was weird, but I still enjoyed it too, just because, ooh, horsies. It was Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, right.
As a kid, I never understood the concept of, okay, we are following this man named Thundar and his two comrades, and they battle bad guys. Okay. To this day, I still don't understand why and who he was and who they were, and this was just some strange land. And oh, they ride horsies. I especially like the alien horse. That one's cool. As a kid, it was not that hard to get me involved into 80s cartoons or shows if there were horses involved.
What did you ever see? Was it Wildfire? I think you've talked about that show before.
Wildfire.
Maybe not.
Wildfire?
I believe that was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Not ringing any bells, huh? Can't say I have. I keep thinking about the idea though that at some point I do want to poke you to do a movie science theater gig where we review a specific movie involving rainbows.
I would love that. I think I know of which you speak.
Yes.
Featuring one of the coolest horses.
Yes.
So it's not technically... Well, okay, I know for you that's a different horse, but for me he's a horse, but he's not. I know it's
I mean, we could debate until the cows come home, but I'm still right.
Now, for me, the weirdest Hanna-Barbera cartoon has to be The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan.
Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan. Don't think I know that one.
I only saw this in syndication when Cartoon Network had a brief Crime Busters block. How do I describe this? Basically, there's this famous private investigator, the Amazing Chan, and his dozen children, like literally 12, all varying in ages. The eldest four in a band. They were the ones who featured in an episode of Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law. but they left out about 8 of Chan's children.
Oh, wow.
And every episode, there'd be some mystery, and all the kids would go off to try and solve it. And the weird thing is, they would get involved in all these other mysteries and unexplained events, get chased by these complete strangers. I think like one time there was a helicopter with a secret landing at a lighthouse, and they never resolved who any of these people were, or why they were chasing these kids, or what was going on. It always returned to this, by the end, this rather mundane mystery, which the amazing Chan knew right away. He solved it before anyone.
Huh.
And it was just a complete waste of time. You watched all these characters running around trying to solve these completely out of nowhere mysteries that were never explained. And there were so many characters that you never got attached to any of them. I couldn't believe it. It was probably the weirdest and maybe worst Hanna-Barbera cartoon I've seen. Also,
oh, goodness.
All right, let's see here. Go. Pardon me one sec as I... Let's see here. Now, Voice was wondering, is Inchai Private Eye Hanna-Barbera? And I believe he is. I only kind of remember Inchai Private Eye, though.
Yeah.
But I will say that for as bad as The Amazing Chan and the Chan Clan was, it's still better than X-Arms. Yes, I haven't let this go. I'm probably doing more to promote this show because of how bad it is. I wonder if that's their tactic.
Maybe? Oh, gosh.
So, anyway, I'm okay. I'm a calm.
No, you're passionate, just like I am with the Rainbow Bright reboot. We don't talk about that.
But let's see, Royal Silver. Royal, I did check out your Leviathan music video. I did find it a little weird to hear the music encouraging Leviathan to open his eyes, because it's the Leviathan. It's going to kill us all. It's like, don't call for Armageddon. You should be singing a lullaby. Leviathan, hit the snooze button, please. I did like the animation, though. I did thoroughly enjoy that. And the song is catchy, so thank you for sharing that. But there was also the question, since Godzilla vs. Kong will be here on March 1st, would it be fun to review the 1962 movie for Halloween of this year? But am I getting mixed up? I thought you had plans to review Godzilla.
I don't know if I have plans to review the movie itself. I am debating about just reviewing the trailer alone because I'm super hyped for it. But I'll definitely try to review the movie when it comes out. As for the original Kong versus Godzilla, I am not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Oh, the original Godzilla is a very different beast from what Godzilla became, for which Godzilla became renowned. Much more serious.
Yeah. It's chaos. I remember hearing behind the scenes about that film, and that originally it was never meant to be Kong versus Godzilla. It was meant to be Frankenstein versus Godzilla, from what I heard. Don't ask me how or why. But I guess something happens where I can't remember if Toho couldn't get the rights, or the studio that made Kong versus Godzilla couldn't get the rights to Godzilla. Or vice versa, and they ended up going with Kong instead. They beeped him up to Godzilla's height, and so for example, that whole scene where Kong gets more strength because he absorbs electricity, there's your clue that originally the idea was Frankenstein.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
But it makes no sense. Yeah, that makes sense, but the character Kong himself, that doesn't make sense for Kong. Kong never got powered up through electricity. He was never even that tall.
It was not.
This is why I'm always chuckling in the back of my head that, guys, even if it is Kong versus Godzilla, deep down, the original Kong could never take on Godzilla. Ever.
Prism Shard is
He's a
saying.
hamster.
Prism Shard is saying that it was supposed to be Frankenstein versus King Kong originally.
Oh.
So did
Did I get that mixed up?
Well, look. Here's how much misinformation can come into play. When when That's a Lot of Fish Godzilla, Gino, as I've heard him called, Godzilla in name only, was about to come out. They did there was a news article about Godzilla throughout history, and they even said that Godzilla vs. King Kong had two endings. That is apparently not true. That people thought with all the changes made, they wouldn't be surprised if there were two endings. But it was always okay. No matter what it started as, it was always going to be Godzilla defeated because he is the great destroyer. You can't have him win and, well, he'd have every reason to turn around and keep stomping on Japan. Kong at least had a reason to go home. But, listen, I'm assuming that you saw Godzilla Final War.
Is that where he fights all the monsters? I get confused with the names sometimes.
It is. It's the one that's very Matrix-inspired and action-y.
Yes, then yes.
How did you like the scene where Godzilla Japan battled Godzilla American in Australia?
You mean Zilla.
In Zilla, Gino, in my vocabulary.
Oh no, you're good. It's just that was my Godzilla fan nerisms kicking in because we no longer acknowledge the 1998 Godzilla by that name. His name is Zilla, and there's proof of this because Japan bought rights to the monster and then renamed it Zilla. So
and had it go.
Oh, and it was glorious watching that thing be destroyed within less than 5 seconds.
So you wouldn't last 5 seconds against the real Godzilla. And I have to agree, Kong, mighty and terrifying in his movie, but King Kong, original size Kong versus Godzilla would pretty much go the same plot as Godzilla meets Bambi.
I remember that. There was a cartoon of that for like a few seconds.
For a few seconds.
Oh my gosh.
I think it lasted a full minute.
Yeah, we were just watching this deer eating on the screen, and then suddenly, bam!
It's like, oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's squished flat.
Oh, he's been squished.
That's
okay.
That's it. That's how I'll get payback. Twink meets Godzilla.
Twink meets the actual Godzilla. Well, what's going to happen is Twink is going to fangasm, and then ask for his autograph. I'm trying to picture Twink fanboying. Nom 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 nom. Maybe not go full blown like he did with Golden Fox because he had a huge crush on Golden Fox, but to actually just go pop.
Oh no! Does he pull a pony life and explodes into confetti?
I think so. Yes, that'd be funny. Poor Twink.
I'll get the vacuum.
No! Don't vacuum my pet up! No!
Oh, that really sucks. There you go. I told you. There's a revenge scheme. I ruined Twink by giving him everything he could want. Meet his hero. They say
you spoiled him until he poofed.
They say never meet your heroes. I don't think this is what they had in mind. Oh, also, there's a Sweetie Bloom in the chat. Hello, Sweetie Bloom.
Hello, Sweetie. Oh, my goodness.
Whooshy23 wants to know, did you ever see what the 1998 Godzilla was supposed to look like? I'm guessing concept art.
There was a lot of concept art of him. I think there was at one point he looked like an actual an iguana at one point.
An iguana?
Yeah, he had the actual face of an iguana.
Okay, that
Um,
wow, I am actually fan insulted. I'm faulted.
I think they were just hinting at that because they were hinting that okay, he was created by atomic bombs being launched off the French islands, and there happened to be iguanas on the island, and so the concept was he was going to have more of a T-Rex body with an iguana face, but they ended up morphing it a little bit, and then we get the Zilla we know of. At least that's what I saw or understood. Um, I do know the Toho actors of the original Godzilla costume were absolutely disgusted. I think the quote from one of them was, "That's not Godzilla. It doesn't have his charm."
I,
They really hammered on that movie. That they absolutely no charm, no personality, no nothing. It is a wimp animal running around New York City and gets destroyed by the military. And I think the other thing that they said was, I need to be careful how I say this, but basically, some of the actors in Toho, I can't remember their names, and probably is best I don't mention it. Um, but they basically criticized America for not being able to let go of the thought that something could withstand their weapons.
so American pride undid the movie.
Yeah,
I mean, Godzilla is an unstoppable force. That's the point. You can never destroy, only delay him.
yeah, and they basically criticized America for having too much pride. That oh, you an animal cannot possibly defeat American weapons. That's heresy. Harumph. But I'm glad to see that obviously that has changed and Legendary Studios respected the franchise, did take criticism from Toho, and actually approached the Godzilla we know of with respect.
They did, though. I noticed that there's, like in the most recent movie, all those jets flying in to support Godzilla in a fight, even though I don't think they really did much. Uh,
I don't think they did, but it looked cool.
it looked cool, but maybe that's still a little bit of, oh, okay, we couldn't beat Godzilla, but we totally be on his side, his team. I don't know. The pride aspect may still be an issue.
The,
Also,
yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna say over on Twitch, uh, Laseos, I do see the Twitch chat. I see you. So don't think
We
I don't.
saw you.
Don't think I don't, because I do. Because I do.
This is everything.
Sky Talon saying the animated series of the American Godzilla wasn't too bad. Now, we have to be specific because I've already talked about Godzuki and the need for evolution to take its course. He's talking, but I believe you're talking about the animated series inspired by the 1998 Godzilla. I didn't see the full thing, but it was a better series.
Ironically, Kiyoshone's brother gave me a copy of the entire series of that, and me and my husband binged watched it.
What'd you think?
I actually enjoyed it. It was fun. It was kind of reliving the '90s a bit, you know, or the early 2000s.
Well, there you go. So something good came out of it. It's kind of like, well, there are some shows that may even surpass their origin. I'd argue the real Ghostbusters cartoon may have had even greater longevity than the movie.
Yes.
Let's see here.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Yeah. A question for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Since you brought up Ghostbusters, the new trailer for the next Ghostbusters film, what do you think of it?
I'm intrigued. They're going for a much more subtle build-up with more reverence to the original. I understand that people have very strong opinions on the 2016 Ghostbusters, but in my eyes, that one was everyone was trying to be the quirky scientist. This new trailer seems to really be character driven.
Mm-hmm.
and it catches my intrigue. At the same time, I've begun to catch on to how much we're really playing to nostalgia. Maybe a little too much.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair.
Let's see here. Over on Twitch, uh, Trinary is wondering if you've got a favorite kaiju, Godzilla series or otherwise.
Hmm. Nope, just Godzilla.
Just Godzilla. Well, there you go.
Just Godzilla. I mean,
All
he's
right.
king of the monsters, so you can't beat that.
But let's see here. And then, yes, here's a question breaking away from kaiju for just a little bit. Logan Kerr would like to know, why do you hate being called the cute word?
The character Lightning Bliss hates being called cute because she feels like people are not respecting her when they call her that. They treat her and especially when it's phrase that's really important, if some don't take notice of it. um oh, look at the cute adorable little alicorn, aren't you cute? But they fail to realize she's a grown mare and she is an alicorn, and much like with any adult, they want to be respected. But when that clearly is not the case, she gets a temper. And she's more of an exaggerated form of my temper to begin with. I personally do not mind being called cute at all. It's very flattering, though. It's like, careful. I really only accept that from my husband.
There you go.
Family members.
Yeah, don't make it creepy.
Yeah, don't make it creepy. and and especially to those fans out there, I just want to say this: please stop trying to get a rise out of me over it because you want to be noticed. It's annoying, and it could be rather hurtful if you haven't considered, why do you want Blissey to get mad at you? Why do you want me to get mad at you? What joy is there in that? I get I get if you think it's funny, and jokes are funny after one or two times, but when you start spamming me on Twitter, I called her cute, I hope she doesn't zap me. Guys, no, that's not gonna make me respond. That I'm gonna ignore you at worst.
Yeah. Bliss,
And
Bliss and I get to engage in these wonderful GIF wars because we've met each other in person at conventions that have kind of a rapport and mutual respect. If a joke ever goes too far, then it's done. It's gone. I will kill it on the spot. So that's something to keep in mind. Ask yourself, how well do you know the person you're trying to, role play? And so I don't mean to be. I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm wagging my finger at my audience, but it's an important thing to realize, and it will serve you well in many fandoms.
it's something that I think it's good to bring up and remind fans now and then, especially when you yourself had to kill one of those jokes before because you physically witnessed a fan taking it too far once, and having to ask if I was okay. And
well, but I find other ways. I mean, I do love our GIF wars.
Yeah. Yes, I enjoy them.
This past week's was a delightful bounty, enhanced by Chris Blessings and Aeon of Dreams and Sweetie Blue.
Yes. Apparently, I am being shipped off to, I believe it was Norway?
Yeah.
Or was it Finland? Okay. I'm being shipped off to be with crits, apparently. I have lost this GIF war, or this GIF battle, but not the war. I will never lose the war. I refuse to lose the war.
CT Stormwing, I see that you need to call it a night, so have a very good evening. But I will say
Hey, hey.
one of the best Lightning Bliss anger moments, if I may, was the TF2 where she's basically literally saying, "Stop enjoying this and take me seriously," and Silver's just treating her assault like a back massage.
Stop enjoying this and take me seriously!
Hello. And he's just enjoying work the lumbar. See, so that's where I think Lightning Bliss. I think Lightning Bliss is at her funniest in a situation, not when it's a one-on-one call out.
Yeah, and I want to point out that Super Quill, before that even happened, he was actually complimenting her for her effort to try to protect her a teammate Golden Fox.
But did so in the most, well, maybe not respectful way. It's just like, ah, that's precious. So it's a
that's true.
It's a compliment, but not. It's not even a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
It's like a, why do you do things compliment? Let's see here.
I also argue that I don't think there was any malicious intent behind him saying that. He just kind of forgot, oh, it's Bliss. For a moment there, you know?
I forget lots of things. Oh, hey, an internet. Although, ta-da! Champ is asking, now that I'm reviewing Season 10 comics, am I done with Season 9 reviews? No. I fully intend to do some Season 9 reviews, but, well, they're usually very involved things. I go somewhat overboard, to put it mildly. So I have to beg for some time with, especially getting, what is it? Uncommon Ground. I mean, it's a Patton Oswalt episode with a lot of talk about who is that episode for, really? I mean, really. You say it's a show aimed at kids, but I feel like it's more a tutorial for step parents. How not to go about things.
Okay.
So a topic for when I actually
see this one question. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, please.
Don't you just love lag?
Lag.
It's just that I noticed this question has been repeated multiple times by I believe it's Champ Tuesday. Why are my magic lessons on hold? He's been very patient, or she, or they. Pardon for the mispronounce. I do have a video that kind of explains why some of my episodes take so long to do. But yes, my magic lessons are currently on hold because I'm actually getting help with them now.
Oh wow, I think that caused you physical harm to say.
A little bit.
Oh wow. Egads.
Okay, there we go. Basically, I detest audio editing. I really do. I find it to be the most tedious part of a project for myself. Not saying I'm incapable of doing it. I can do it. It's just, it's tedious, and I argue I'm just not the best at it. So I have been reluctantly, but also acceptingly asking my friends like Joey and Thespio, aka DeWilstonator, for help. Because they are both very skilled audio editors, and they are more than happy to help me, despite they both have very busy schedules themselves, but they are working very hard on multiple projects, not just the ones I asked them to do. So this is why magic lessons are on hold. It's because audio editing takes a while to do, because like me, they both want their work to be perfect or be the best it can be, just like I want my editing to be the best it can be. So it's going to take a little longer. I am hoping, though, it'll probably be done within less than a month on one of the magic lessons. and I really need to just start bugging other people for lines for the next magic lesson while I'm waiting.
Hmm. Let's see. Question from Lyceos. This is jumping back into the G5 announcement. Have you any strong feelings about the activism stuff coming in the next MLP series of Gen 5? And if you don't mind, I'd like to tackle this first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've seen a lot of people throwing around the term social justice warrior in light of this news, and that is a term that has lost any meaning. It's a insult that has no definition anymore because it's become so casual. There's a British writer and actor and comedian, Stephen Fry, and he said one of the most poignant lines or poignant sayings I've heard, and I find it applies to so much in life. It's a common human failing to prefer to be right than to be effective. And that kind of applies to if this lead character is indeed an activist. I'm curious to see if the show will try to present righteousness or effectiveness. If it's the former, it might leave a bitter taste, as well. You don't want to just sit there for 20 minutes listening to the character say, "I'm right, I'm right, I'm right." But if a character has an idea of what's right but isn't sure of the most effective way to get there, now we're talking. Now that's character, that's internal conflict. It's rooting for them to succeed without feeling like they're talking down to you. I have no problem with taking an activist approach, provided it's done with a certain degree of finesse. And that's what I've got to say for the time being.
I'm just gonna here, here. I these kinds of topics I try to avoid, in all honesty, because they are so tricky and people these days get easily offended. Or maybe I'm not sensitive enough. See that problem right there. We are so unsure. Where's the line? And the fact that Hasbro wants to take on topics like this, where a character is a quote unquote activist, I will admire them for taking on such a challenge. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, I don't want to be patronized either. I want somebody to say, this is wrong, explain to me why, and then come up with a plan or an idea of how we can resolve it. And yeah, I'm not expecting it to be resolved overnight. Big changes, it takes time.
I'll also say I've heard people fear that if this is set in Equestria's future, does this mean Twilight failed? The answer is no. Look at our own history. There's people who took up a cause to educate, to evoke change in the world, to get people to treat one another with that baseline of decency that should always have been there. That struggle is still going. It doesn't mean they failed. It just means that this takes a lot of effort from many people. So
changes are made, but it doesn't mean that the problem is immediately fixed, or there will always be other problems.
Though, let's see. Earlier there was a quote. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the chat real quick to find it. William Crow. You can be right, but wrong with a loud voice. I don't know that saying.
I don't know that either, but I can see that. I can understand it. Oof. I think I've heard a different version of it where I can be right, but I can be rude about it. Kind of like, oh, I was right, rubbing it in your face, do. Like, or like see, I told you so, which
I,
isn't cool. That's spiteful.
and sometimes the people saying "I told you so" were doing everything in their power to make it so.
Mm.
Make it so, number one. But don't be, but but don't be a tool about it. Uh, Now we're coming up. Well, we are upon the evening hour, and I don't want to occupy uh, everyone's time. And Bliss, I've so enjoyed having you on to catch up again. Are there any projects or events you want to let us know in advance?
Yes. Well, like I said, magic lessons are still, yes, in production. I'm currently waiting on audio work for the current one that's being made, and I gotta tell you guys, these magic lessons are getting bigger and more elaborate, and there's a reasoning behind it because it's leading to another really big project down the road that I'm actually in the process of writing a script for. And you know how like I said before on how some of my scripts have been getting more elaborate and more emotional. This one is probably going to be one of the most emotional projects I've done yet. And I thought the Revenge of Thunderblight was emotional. This one takes on a whole new level, and it's really opening myself up to the public on something that has been um, a struggle for me, but it will feel good to get it out in ways that I think it will entertain my audience, maybe help relate to my audience and learn to cope with a certain topic I don't want to spoil. But no, this is not a repeat of Revenge of Thunderblight. There will be no more Thunderblight specials, I assure you. Um, I know a lot of people miss her. I am surprised how popular she's gotten, but no, no more Thunderblight specials. She'll pop up now and then, though. I'm sure. Um, but yes, while those are in production, I am actually writing a script for a top five fan made uh, videos on YouTube that I want to tackle, and hopefully, I actually have a poll going on for that right now on Twitter. So if you guys would like to vote on the next episode you want me to do, I have three selections. There is my top five favorite fan My Little Pony episodes, not episodes, fan made videos. There is a script that Silver-Quill actually took a look at and is part of how not to be an entitled fan. And there was one other idea I had where, oh, what was it? My brain, scatterbrain. Yes, that's what you call it. Oh, yes, and my review of Kong versus Godzilla trailer, unless, of course, people just want me to review the movie itself when it comes out. More, that's understanding.
Excellent. Well, you can vote on those by visiting her Twitter account, and I've got a link for that in the description on both YouTube and Twitch.
Yee.
Now, I want to just keep people apprised of what's coming up before we do a quick lightning round of questions. Uh, oh, lightning round! Hey, it's happening
Hey.
unconsciously now. I love it. Uh, Next week I won't be streaming, but I will be over on Brawny Buck's channel playing a game of Cards Against Humanity. So come join us there. I will tweet out a link so you can witness perhaps a darker side of me. You never know.
Oh my.
Oh my. I have when my friends and I play Cards Against Humanity, and they ask who had this, and it's the winning answer, and it's mine. I go, yo. So I've managed to shock them a few times. They're like, you, but you're supposed to be the nice one. You don't even know me. Then the week after, let's see here, man. I'm actually pulling up a calendar program. So that's February 12th. February 19th is HarmonyCon Online, and I don't yet know when this will take place, but I will be part of Equestria's Next Top Artist, as hosted by the Riff Ponies. So that may or may not conflict with the stream. I will announce as things get closer. But one way or another, I'll be part of a stream. And if it's like just the tail end, I might do a shorter stream that evening just to keep in touch with everybody and keep working. I'm pleased with the progress I've been making on this Ponyville train station. Gonna get just a little bit more of the tracks in the foreground. And then I will finally get to go with Iceberg Sky Strikers OC and the Ponyville craziness he will witness. So, is nice. Plus, I intend to make this train background available for folks on my DeviantArt, because if it can help with other people's creative work, why not? All right, so a few more questions before we call it an evening. Very, very quick. One person was asking, it was Royal Silver, if someone had a type of channel realm style like yours, what would it be? Disney Castle, a jungle, or a Jedi Temple? Basically, I think they're asking if there was sort of a proxy for the Rift Cafe, what would you style it as?
Oh, were they asking you or me?
Both of us.
Huh. Neither. I think I would have a Wayland Yutani LB426 base. LB426 base. The atmosphere processing sensor called Haley's Hope.
Ah, yes. Which didn't have a lot of it. By the end, they didn't have a prayer.
It's going to be an explosion the size of Nebraska.
Let's nuke it from sight. It's the only way to be sure. I would say I might go with Jedi Temple after having witnessed Star Wars Rebels. Them Jedi Temples really can mess with you. So if you have someone come out of nowhere or have a vision quest, the Jedi Temple's the way to go. Maricruz Cordova Burias. No, I'm mispronouncing that terribly. See, this is why Norma Ruiz is so kind to phonetically spell her name every time. Covarrubias. Do you two like to go to flea markets? I don't go to that many flea markets. And over the
not me either. Nah.
And unfortunately, the past year with human malware, I definitely don't go to flea markets. But anyway,
yeah.
Let's see here. Thoughts on the isekai genre, the whole transport to another world thing?
I know nothing about it.
I've actually gotten a little frustrated with it because it's always you're there as a super being. A character is transported to another world and they are so good at everything. Now, fair is fair. I just described the Warlord of Mars series. Or what's it called? Gore, the Tarnsman of Gore, and other things like that. So the idea of a stranger going to Strangeland and just basically dominating through sheer force is a very common story, including American. I know it's a Japanese genre, but I like a character who's in a foreign land and is vulnerable. I find that much more involving, emotionally investing than my character is in this foreign land and they are kicking patoot and taking names. Yes, I'm trying to be very family friendly here. Let's see here. There was a person asking about being a brony. Yes, Lucky Wolf 623. I'd like to have advice on how to start off as a brony.
You first.
The thing is, being a brony is a thing other people call you. And it's really just I enjoy this show. Maybe it's a declaration of how much you enjoy it, or You just sort of recognize, hey, this is the group where I'll find content I enjoy. To be a brony is to just be yourself and be creative as best as possible. So don't push yourself to you have to be a certain way to be a brony. I will say there are people who call themselves bronies who I want nothing to do with. So again, it comes down to quality of character. If you're looking to be creative, focus on what you enjoy most about the show and ask how can you share that appreciation with the rest of the world, be it in comic form, music, YouTube video talking about a favorite subject, essays, all manner of expression.
Yeah. Being a brony, there's no rules or a set of rules or laws you have to follow to be one. If you enjoy the show and you enjoy the fandom and the community and you enjoy the content that's produced or what fans have produced, there's no rule that says you can't call yourself a brony. And there's no rule saying that you can't be a brony because, oh, you don't watch the show, you're not a brony. Harumph. No, that's not true. I know I have quite a few friends that have not really been watching the show at all, but they consider themselves bronies because they enjoy the content other people produce from it, or they have an OC. There's no rule about it. If you love the show or you love the fandom and the community, then and you like the idea of being called a brony, go for it. I was a brony since I was born, apparently.
Well, yeah, you were OG.
Apparently, I don't know if I had a decision in this or it was just fate, because my mother predicted that one of her daughters would be into this pony show that she recorded one day in 1984. And she was right.
Hey, mothers, they know things. They connect on ways we can't fully appreciate until we're older.
Yeah.
But one other thing on the topic of bronies, one of the things I celebrate whenever any fandom does this. When video gamers host charity streams to raise money, when people try to be as inclusive or supportive. And if you guys swing by my Twitter or just do a search, early on in the fandom, there's a young man named, or young boy really, Michael Morones. He was so bullied for liking this show aimed at girls that he tried to take his own life. And while the attempt was not successful, he did suffer cerebral damage. And his family has a fundraiser right now they basically need a very expensive van modified for wheelchair access or something similar. And it's a very difficult fund. They've started a GoFundMe. Brony groups are trying to raise support for this because, early on in the show, no one knew what to do, and a lot of people's response was cruelty, especially to young kids who enjoy this show. And it's tragic that Michael and his family have to deal with this for the rest of their lives because of other people's cruelty. So if you can help either by spreading the word on social media or donating to the GoFundMe, I really encourage you to do so. And you can find a link to it on my Twitter page or doing a search for Michael. Let's see here. The full fundraiser name. Pardon me one sec as I just look it up. Michael's Wheels, organized by Tiffany Morones. You'll find that on GoFundMe. And with that, I'm sorry I couldn't get to everyone's questions, but I hope it's been a fun evening. And Bliss, you've made it a fun evening. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, happy to be here. Happy to be back. Yee.
Yes, and hope to have you back again. These good times, yeah?
Oh, absolutely.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. So in the meantime, I will wish you all a wonderful evening. Be safe and be healthy. And just, I hope we can have more and more fun. So I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.